Hey there, Cosmic Warriors, and welcome back to another video. Welcome to another live reading session with me. I do apologize for my slight lateness this evening. Well, it doesn't look like evening. It's actually quite bright. So excited for springtime. It's a sunnier day here in Belfast. I'm looking forward to sunnier weather, that is for sure. So yes, we're here today. We're going to be doing some live readings. And I actually have one client booked in. So we have, let me just go down and look at my details. So Butler has booked. Now, Butler, I want to firstly say thank you so much for booking. But I do need more information from you. So you have your birth time, you have your birth location, but I also need your birthday. So your date of birth, please. So I believe this reading is for Keona. And I just want to say too that you can send through your birthday through to hannahselsewhere at outlook.com. You don't have to put it in the chat, of course, if you want it to remain private. But yes, hello to Astra, welcome. Hello to LCCI, hi to you. The instructions on how to book a reading with me this evening are in the description box. So what you do is you send through the payment to that link and make sure that you give your date of birth, your time of birth, and your place of birth. These three components are very, very important when it comes to reading charts. So what I'm going to do in the meantime is I'm going to take note of Keona, your time of birth and everything, so I have it and then I can enter it in. But I do need the date of birth as well. And how are we doing today? Are we excited about spring? Are you having a busy Friday today? So it's 5 o'clock here in Belfast. It would be 1 p.m. in the east of the United States. So places like New Jersey, New York. Yeah, I think it would be 1 p.m. about that. Yes. Okay, so question. Let's focus on the rest of the year, major events for the rest of the year. Is Butler in the chat? Are you here? Hello to you, Danny. Welcome. Okay, so we have Chelsea. You have booked in. Thank you so much. I'm just taking down your information. I quite like to get everybody in first and then we go. But I also understand that sometimes it doesn't work like that. Yeah. And Chelsea, thank you so much for booking. I need your time of birth as well. I have your date of birth, I have your place of birth, but I also need your time of birth. Hello, Danny. Hello to Paula. Welcome to you. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you for sharing the love. And yes, Chelsea, I have received your question. I just need your time of birth. Now, when it comes to birth information that's missed out, you can send it through to me at hannahselsewhere at outlook.com. But of course, you need to put your name in it and just, confirm in that way. So I have your date of birth, I have your place of birth. I'm just looking at your question at the moment. Okay. So about moving. Moving. Right. Oh, thank you very much, Chelsea. I have that. And just to go back to Butler, if you do not provide the the date of birth, it's completely fine because, I can always refund you. If there's anything missing and then you're not here and there's a mistake, it's totally fine. I can refund you that. But I'm just calling out to you, Butler. I need the date of birth as well for the reading that you booked. Okay, but what I'm going to do, seeing as I'm not getting a response from Butler, I'm going to go ahead then with your reading, Chelsea, okay? So I'm just entering in your information at the moment. Thank you very much for booking with me this evening. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm, 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 mm-hmm. Okay. I am just grabbing a few different timing tools to help me with your question, and then we will get into it. Yes. And with astrocartography, I can look at your map. I can give some type of help. I can give some type of support with that. And to Rebecca, I'm not sure the pronunciation, but I do apologize. But yes, welcome, welcome. Live readings, yes. Okay, so Chelsea, I'm just gonna look at your annual perfections. Okay, got that. And we'll go here. Okay, yep. Okay. Check the main chart. Right, so I'm going to save this chart and then I will share it on the screen and we'll get into your reading. Oh, actually, let me see. Let me come out. what I'll actually do is there. Come out of there, come out of there. Okay, so Chelsea, what I wanted to do was I wanted to see what was up ahead for you. And okay. So the significant thing for you, Chelsea, is that in annual perfection, so when we look at annual perfections, the 7th house is being activated for you. So this seems to be a pretty important area of focus, right? So you have here Cancer in the 7th house. So it's interesting to me that you mentioned about, with relationships. And there's also the part of it where you're seeking some type of change, right? You're seeking to move. And we think even about how Cancerian energy, it fluctuates. There is a type of changeability in this way to Cancerian energy, especially in terms of moods. So we're noticing here the change of the tides, right? The change of moods when it comes to relationships for you, and how that's going to be quite a significant, it's going to play a significant role within your life all the way up until your next birthday, when you turn 31. And the secondary progressed moon is also there in the 7th house right now, just making this even more personal and even more real, right? And then we also notice that this secondary progressed moon over the next few weeks and months, it's going to oppose Uranus retrograde and Neptune retrograde in your 1st house there. And then you've got that Capricorn energy in the 1st. So, with these oppositions, it could be something very sudden, something very unpredictable with respect to your life's path. And those changes can be very jarring, actually, and unsettling, shocking, surprising. It's just this kind of energy of making major breakthroughs, but breakthroughs that you can't necessarily control. So we could see, or we are noticing basically these changes, these perhaps harsh changes, but also serious ones, right? Because here's the thing about you is Pluto has been transiting your 1st house for 15 years or so. And well, yes, Pluto has entered Aquarius, but it's going to dip back into Capricorn, back into your 1st house from September until November. So what has been unfolding for you? I mean, you have been changing and outgrowing in more ways than you know, right? Outgrowing old patterns, old habits, old cycles, which just no longer do it for you. They no longer serve you. Now, we want to explore, if I just grab, I wanted to look at your solar return chart for the year as well. So this is currently in action now up until your birthday. So in this particular solar return chart, Jupiter is actually retrograde there in Taurus in the 1st house, and so is Uranus. So Jupiter looks at long distance travel. It looks at expansion, so how we really grow, how we expand our consciousness, and how we, I suppose, seek we seek more. We seek to do things outside of our comfort zone. There's a certain push when it comes to Jupiter. We're asked to take a leap of faith often. So to have this in the first house, I feel, is just activating these parts of you, right? And how such things with Uranus again, how such matters are jarring, and how they can really take you and other people in your life by surprise. And here's the other thing: when we consider how you have Taurus in the fifth house, right? So in your natal chart, this then this Jupiter energy that I talk about to do with the solar return chart, it speaks to this fifth house of relationships. It speaks to the romance, love, dating, the dating scene. So I would say that it's quite a significant time for you in terms of decisions that are being made, really, right? And like I said, Jupiter as well can look at long distance travel, it can look at movement. So there could be some significant movements up ahead for you with this, okay? And the other thing about it is we want to continue to follow Jupiter. We want to think about how Jupiter and Uranus are going to make this conjunction April, so this April, and that's going to happen in your fifth house, and it's actually going to oppose Pluto in your chart. It's going to be right opposite Pluto there, activating what? Well, activating these major shifts in consciousness, these major shifts in awareness, and having even like an upheaval or a I can't believe I've been doing it this way, or I've been settling in this situation. It's sort of like this is an act, this is a time period of empowerment, real like emotional empowerment on your part. And it's so connected to your Scorpio energy in the seventh house, isn't it? And the solar return chart I'm talking about, because Scorpio is in the seventh, right? So you kind of think then about these power changes, the power plays actually as well. But it's also the kick, it's the punch that comes from that Mars quality to Scorpio, of saying enough is enough, or of saying, hey, you know what, I'm not taking this anymore. So we could see on your behalf, just such major breakthroughs and changes in this regard. But it's also about how such matters are coming from within. They come from within and then they present themselves externally. So starting from you. And another thing I want to mention is, it's tied into what I'm saying. When I look at the solar return chart from when you turn 31, right? So this is going to be an activity from your 31st birthday, and these are just some things that I noticed that are coming up ahead for you, Chelsea. But the North Node is actually in the ninth in Aries in this solar return chart. So throughout your 31st year, this is where we're going to perhaps notice you being a leader, you being a trailblazer when it comes to, well, the travel stuff, right? Thinking about expanding, thinking about, again, who and what you have outgrown. Even consider how the South Node is there in Libra. Now, Venus will also be in Libra there in the solar return chart. So I feel like that's also going to speak to how such moves and how such courage and bravery can strengthen your relationships, can strengthen how you approach relationships in a way where you do feel, hey, things are more equal and balanced and harmonious, and I actually relate to someone, I can connect with someone. And just to finish this off then in this way for you, Chelsea, which I wanted to explore the bigger picture in this regard for you. But I wanted to end this by saying that, in your natal chart, you have Jupiter conjunct Mars in Libra. And then even in the solar return chart for this year, you also have Mars in Libra. So I feel as if what this is highlighting is you have this free spirit mentality when it comes to relationships. You don't like feeling tied down. You like to know that you're free. Like, you like to know that there is a sense of connection and trust, right? That freedom, I feel, is so much about trust. It's so much about commitment. It's this whole attitude of, I have the freedom to choose, and it's getting into a relationship where there is that trust and that honesty and that truth, without it becoming too like ugly and too harsh. Libra energy can very much just go, oh, that's that's too much for me to handle, you know? So I think what this is suggesting to me is that these things that you're mentioning, basically, you know, within the question, these things are so far from what you desire and what you want. And even just to bring this really to a close, Venus is also in Leo, right? Making that sextile to this Mars in Libra. And Venus in Leo also says, I want to feel seen. I want to feel special. I think you want the intensity. You seek that intensity, that emotional bond. And I think that that comes from the trust. It comes from these feelings of you're enough and anyone would be lucky to have you kind of attitude, and celebrating yourself and feeling like there is celebration within the relationship. You know, I just feel like, you know, within, like, deep, that Aethys energy is very deep and introspective. Like, you know, within what it is that you truly yearn for and what essentially brings you happiness and makes you feel alive within relationships. You know, that's not to say that relationships are always easy, etc. You know, but just based on your question, this is what I'm seeing within your chart. Okay, Chelsea, so that was yours. Of course, thank you so much. Thank you for booking this evening, Chelsea. Thank you. Okay, so we have Heidi. Thank you, Heidi, for booking. Okay. I'm just entering in your information. Let me go here, 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 here. Okay. I always decide to have dinner before live streaming, and because of that, I hiccup and all sorts. So that's fun. Okay. Yep. 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 Okay. Perfect. So you want to know which lessons are coming for you, right? Okay. Heidi. I'm just taking a moment to look at your chart. Yeah, so that would be the 9th. All right, so Heidi, you want to know about which lessons are coming up ahead for you. Now, what I wanted to do first of all, I wanted to look at your annual perfections. So you have just turned 32. It was actually your birthday yesterday, right? So happy birthday. Happy birthday to you, Heidi. Hope you had a lovely day. But yes, this means that the ninth house then for you is going to be a big area of focus. It's going to be activated throughout your 32nd year. And we see here that you have Venus in Pisces and you also have the sun in Pisces. You're actually going through your Venus return right now. So that's exciting. We'll perhaps touch on that in a moment. But the significant thing about this is Saturn is transiting your ninth house, and it has been for the past year. And so Saturn actually looks at maturity, growth. It's tied to lessons. It's actually tied to wisdom in this way, our wisdom in this regard. And that that wisdom comes from our ability to mature, our ability to be responsible and to hold ourselves accountable for our actions and recognizing that our actions have consequences as well. So with Saturn then being here, it suggests that what Saturn is bringing in terms of lessons is that of how you're maturing when it comes to your beliefs, your belief system, and how you're maturing when it comes to how you understand things and looking at the knowledge that you can gain from this transit, really bringing some type of structure to any type of further learning you're doing, higher education you're doing, any advanced training programs, courses, stuff like this, and just sticking at it for the long haul. And also, you will experience, as you do with Saturn transits, is you'll experience delays, setbacks, obstacles. But with Saturn comes the ability to, well, for one, to stick at it, to be persistent, to persevere, but also to know when to pivot, right? To know when to surrender, given the fact that this is Pisces energy and Pisces is this sign of surrender. It's a sign that says, okay, there's only so much that you can physically do and that you can physically control. So there could be a few lessons here to do with these things that I mentioned, right? But thinking about how such things are aligned with, for example, the training stuff, courses that you take on. Also thinking here about how it is that you explore more about yourself and the world around you and travel and expanding your mind. Even legal matters could very well be highlighted for you, right? A few legal situations that you must address during this time and you must sort of make peace with. That could be another thing. It could even be a certain financial matter in this case, because Venus, like I say, is in Pisces. So Venus looks and rules, well, it looks at and rules finances. It rules our earnings and how we spend. So I think with the Saturnian piece, it could be that perhaps a lesson for you is how to create greater structure and how to create greater boundaries, even when it comes to your spending habits, and even greater boundaries in terms of the acceptance of, your beauty or of your skills and your talents. I mean, you could be very, very gifted at mentoring, educating others. You could be very gifted at journalism or gifted at photography, perhaps. But I think Saturn is bringing that sense of maturity, right? And the growing up qualities. as well, because you did ask about, well, lessons. And these lessons, they can be hard. They can be hard to recognize. They can be hard to accept. But again, I think Saturn in Pisces is so much about our own ability to surrender when we can, and knowing actually when perhaps something has ended in our lives. I kind of think of Pisces as this place of, we really go inward and we think about, okay, well, what is no longer serving me? What is ending? And it's this kind of peaceful way of ending, right? It's it's ending, it's over. I see that, and I accept that. And so there could be something about a particular legal matter coming to an end, or a particular course or a belief system that's coming to an end. Maybe these things are even linked in with something very spiritual and very emotional. Maybe a certain travel experience as well. That could be another thing. But yeah, I think there is an element of serenity in this, and an element of serendipity and peace. Another thing, though, I want to mention for you, again, sticking to this ninth house part of it, which I do want to just clarify, this is going to be a continuous theme for you. And the reason why I'm saying this is because Saturn's going to continue its transit through your ninth house here for a while. But I do want to say that another thing is, you've got the sun there in Pisces too. So Neptune right now, well, it has been on your sun. It was stronger a couple months ago, but still there is this significant influence. And what I'm trying to get at here is, Neptune is the dissolver. Neptune also looks at where lines are blurred, where things are not so clear, where things are quite foggy. So there could be this kind of fog, this mist, this haze over how it is that you teach and share, for instance, or this fog or haze when it comes to legal stuff, or just even a little bit of confusion or deception, when it comes to who you trust and who you take advice from, this type of stuff. I would even just say in this way, just to use discernment. Jupiter, let's think about Jupiter, for example. Jupiter, you have there in Virgo, and Jupiter's a key player because, like I said, the ninth house is being activated for you, and we got to look at the ruler of your ninth, and that is Jupiter. So Jupiter's opposite Venus there, it's retrograde in Virgo. So what this is actually saying is, use a little discernment, right? For the Jupiter and Virgo energy says that what you are gaining wisdom and knowledge about in this life is that of being able to ground what it is that you do learn in a way, right? Being able to make practical use out of things, being able to see, right, okay, how does this work and how does this function, and breaking information down and seeing how it's all sort of pieced together, seeing the details and things, right? But of course, what can also happen with this is just the overthinking and the worrying and the stressing, etc. So even that's where I feel the Pisces part of it can come in with your Pisces return, or your Pisces return, your Venus return right now. That can open up avenues of healing and forgiveness and clarity too, and that emotional clarity, the ability to go within. So it's this, I feel it's a healing time. I feel that this is highlighting a significant time of healing for you, spiritual healing, mental healing as well, thinking about the body and what certain practices that you have in terms of how you can look after your body, look after your mindset and your mental health too. And what I also want to mention then is the actual transit of Jupiter. So Jupiter right now in the sky is transiting your 11th house. So in terms of other lessons coming up, Jupiter can sort of be this mentor for us. It can be a bringer, a carrier of knowledge in this way. So Jupiter in your 11th house in Taurus indicates to me that this is also about how you ground yourself, like how you come to a place of center, how you come to a place of calm and patience, being patient when it comes to groups and friendships and certain clubs that you're a part of, and being patient when it comes to your hopes and dreams for the future, and just taking your time, taking your time little by little, and just kind of plodding along. It's this type of energy. And maybe as well, when we consider how, right, so you've got Saturn and Mars in Aquarius, and so there are these squares happening to Jupiter for you. I feel as if a big lesson, just to even finish this off, a big lesson for you in this life, if we consider how the midheaven and Saturn are there in Aquarius in your eighth, is that of tapping into your inner weirdo, your inner uniqueness, the things that make you unique and the things that are different. And even just making those things sort of a part of your purpose, a part of your plan in a way. And it's also about the amount of the transformations that you're going to go through, and the growing up that is also happening. I mean, you have went through your Saturn return. That was over the past few years. So there could be many more significant lessons to implement over the next while, basically, to do with things like uniqueness and your eccentricities and your quirks and so on. I would even say here that you turn certain occult-like, paranormal, scientific, technological topics and subjects, like you turn them into something that is structured and really well planned out, right? It's like building a foundation in this way. And so all of this is to say that these matters, I feel, are also linked in with the group stuff. But it's that Jupiter energy transiting your 11th house that is looking at how you can share your inventions, share your different sort of views and opinions with the world. And Uranus as well, the Jupiter Uranus conjunction in April, that is going to be quite electrifying too, because even that's going to make a square to Mars. So that could be like a big jolt, a big rush of energy. And it could just feel like, you've so much to share and you've so much to give. And it could be that there are major breakthroughs that are upon the horizon for you. But at the same time, because it's a square, it could be a bit of a tense kind of challenge. And so I would say that there could be significant frustrations to be aware of, right? To be aware of any sort of frustrations, and how you can come to this place of, no, I can do this. It's having this sort of attitude of, I'm going to go all the way with this. I can do this. With squares, there's the challenge, but I feel like when it comes to astrology, especially with challenging aspects up ahead, when you bring sort of that self-awareness to things, when you kind of can predict in a way, oh, this could very well come up. It's about being able to work with that, make it work for you rather than against you. Okay, so that was yours, Heidi. Thank you so much. And we still don't have Butler. No Butler in the audience to give your date of birth. Hello to oh yes, hello to Harris. I think I recognize your name, Harris. Welcome to you. And the ways in which you book a reading with me is by following the instructions. You can find the instructions in the description box. The link is there. You send through the payment. You send through your date of birth, your time of birth, and your place of birth as well. This could be a shorter session this evening. I might need to see about changing the times, because I'm noticing a difference. Usually in the past, I've come on at about 6 my time on a Friday. And then it's been quite, regular in that way. But because I've changed the time, I wonder, because not as many people are on, maybe a different time would work better. I could maybe try Sundays. I could try Thursdays. Yeah, I could try a different day if it suited you better. Maybe Thursdays could be a good shout, or Sundays. Maybe Sundays can be better because it's the weekend, you know? But could just be a shorter session. And if you missed this one, I'm sure I'll be back on. I'm sure I'll be back next week. And I will be on Sunday. Going to be talking about the lunar eclipse in Libra. So that's going to be on the 25th. So that's 10 days away. Whew. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, about 10 days. And then I'll be hosting a workshop on the 30th. It's going to be an End of Perfections workshop. It's exciting. There are still a few slots available, by the way, if you're interested, but that's going to be good. Should be good. And Heidi, I just want to say, I really, really hope that you benefited from your reading. I am going to sneeze. Woo. All right, well, if nobody else would like to book this evening, I may see about trying different times because I did try this time last week and it was a little bit quieter, a bit quieter, and we're noticing it again this week. So it could just be timings, and I'll try a later time, a time that best suits others. And again, this is the last time. Butler, I don't have your date of birth. I'm just going down to your email. Let me just check my PayPal to double check to see if there is any other information for you. Oh, we have another. Hector, thank you so much, Hector. Just checking my PayPal quickly to see if Butler gave any other information. Let's see. Da-da-da. Let me see. No. No. Ah. Oh well, right. Then, in that case, again, I'll keep calling out to you, Butler, in case you check in, review throughout your time. But Hector, thank you very much for booking. It seems I'm not a. Hey, it's your birthday! Hey! Happy birthday to you, Hector. Are you having a lovely birthday? I hope you are. Let's hope you enjoy your reading. I also need something from you, though. I need your birth location. If you're there, please say you're there. Come on, everyone. We need all the information. We need all the information. Yeah, so I need your birth location, please, Hector, for the reading. Oh, brilliant. Thank you very much. Rightio. So let's have a look. Right. Okay. Just gonna share my screen. Yes, Casey, you still have time. Yes, there's still time. You can book with me. Just make sure to provide your time of birth, place of birth, and date of birth, and you send it through to the link in the description. Yes. Oh, I'm just being a little bit silly. I think I'm just in a good mood, you know? I'm in a good mood because spring is around the corner, and I'm so excited about it. I'm so happy about it. Yes. Sunnier days, sunnier days. Okay, so Hector. Right, I'm just taking a moment to look at your chart. Okay. Okay, what is jumping out at me here for you, Hector, is this T-square that you ask about is so much about empowerment. It's so much about that empowerment that comes from within, but this is about this sort of awakening, if you will. This is about allowing the unconscious to speak, to sort of push through and to bring these levels of self-awareness, you know, where you can recognize, for example, that you have what it takes to grow, to expand. You have what it takes to branch out, to explore unknown territories. Here's the thing, right? So, Mercury is in Pisces and it's opposing this moon energy in Virgo. Let's try and break it down. So, Mercury in Pisces suggests to me that you are quite a visual learner, right? It's even in the third house. You're a visual learner. You are very creative and artistic, right? Your mind is that of an artist, if you will. You can perhaps also be very much interested in fantasy related things, fantasy related topics. And your intuition also has something very, very strong and profound to share. But the square to Pluto, it's like this, it's the, like I said, it's that push through energy, right? Pluto penetrates, right? Pluto digs. It's like dig, 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 dig. It's the investigative part of us. So to have it square Mercury, it's like you want to learn as much as you humanly possibly can about subjects that you're really interested in, right? This could be like paranormal subjects, esoteric subjects. This could be subjects about investigation, right? Thinking about like true crime programs, for example, or thinking about um, subjects that are strongly linked to the fantasy stuff that I was saying about, or even thinking about certain films that just absolutely grab you and captivate you, right? So there's that. But then you see, of course, Mercury is opposing the moon. So the moon here in Virgo suggests to me that your emotional world, right? So the moon looks at our emotions, it's tied to our inner world. It suggests to me that you tend to like rationalize how you're feeling quite a bit. It's an interesting one because you have your sun in Pisces, right? And then the moon in Virgo. Now, they're not opposite by aspect, but they are opposite by sign. So, you, with all of this Pisces energy, it's like you can dive deep and you can feel it all and it's like absorb the environment and merge as well with the undercurrents. Like you can pick up like the undercurrents within the environment really well and you can pick it up like a sponge, you sort of soak it in. But then the moon and Virgo energy says that yes, what you can also do is you can break things down. You can break them apart and kind of see like what does this mean? What does that mean? And put a label here and compartmentalize things over here. There is that part of it where you can just sort of like a filing cabinet, just look through things and try to analyze and try to make sense of things. And that I feel can be really amazing. This access in a way can be quite incredible in terms of research, going back to the investigation stuff that I mentioned, and thinking about all the reading that perhaps you do, thinking about how well spoken you can be or how well mannered you can be, and just your way of like presenting information and your way of learning and gathering facts and data and how you present those facts and data. It's done so particularly and concisely, and yeah, just really really well. Your stuff can just appear so polished and clean, but it's just it does appear as if there is a bit of a battle, right? The opposition, the battle from within, this conflicted energy, this energy that kind of says, I'm going to try and rationalize everything, and just being so caught up in the mind then, or just a bit misdirected or a bit confused about what's what and what makes sense. I mean, this could very well be where a lot of the times you're projected onto, it's like people tell you how to feel. This is how you feel, this is how you feel. Or it's that you can believe people in terms of what they're saying quite a bit. There can be this gullible sort of attitude at times. But this is where Pluto this is where Pluto comes in, right? Because, like I said, the Pluto part of it is trying to push through. The Pluto part of it is trying to say, no, 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 no. Believe in this. Like, believe in what you're saying. Believe in your truth. Believe in your understandings, your passions about things. Don't just fall for, the people over here and they're coming from this angle and the people over there. It's more about, okay, when I go within, when I sit with this information, when I really let it like sink in and I digest it, that is where the gold comes, right? That is where the knowledge and all of it just filters through then, and it's like pow, 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 pow. But there's more to it. There's more to this because there's another T-square, right? And sure, you wouldn't necessarily say that it's very, very strong, because what we see here is the sun opposite Chiron, but then Jupiter is also there and it's making a square to Saturn. And you could, okay, sure, the orbs perhaps are quite wide. You may not necessarily see it this way. But even if we think of it by sign, there's still something here about how Jupiter is playing a role, right? Even Jupiter is making that square to Saturn, and I would even still consider this a bit of a square between Jupiter and the Sun. But yeah, I think Jupiter is adding this quality of seeking the knowledge, seeking the truth. Even Jupiter and the Mars Deacon, it says, I'm passionate, I'm enthusiastic, I'm seeking the inspiration here. Give it to me, right? Freedom and everything. And all that freedom that you seek, even behind the scenes, the time alone that you spend, the retreating, the going within stuff, right? The solitude, the silence. But then the Saturn part of it, right, with this square, highlights and indicates the restriction, the restraint, the feeling tied down. It's like, I can't think for myself. Why can I not think for myself? Even the sun, again, opposite Chiron, and that Chiron part of it says there's some wound here about belief. There's some trigger, some really sensitive stuff here to do with thinking for yourself, arriving to your own freaking conclusions about things. It's like, I just feel as if when we really zoom out of this and we think about the bigger picture, just people in your life just constantly just telling you, think this, think this, think this, do this, do this, do this. And this is, again, this is where I feel the Sagittarius sign speaks, and it speaks loud. It's coming from within. It's saying, no, I know my truth. Like, I know what I believe. So I feel like when we look at this in a bigger picture way, a little pushback, right? A little oomph. The Mars opposite Venus energy retrograde. My goodness, Hector, you have so much here coming up to do with these self-assertion transformations, right? Being able to come at things from, no, I am an individual. Like, I know who I am. It's a bit of a, it is, it's a battle. This is a struggle. This is a restrictive energy with these oppositions. But it's also about the challenge. It's also about, especially in these fixed signs, the determination and the strength, the strengthening of your core, the strengthening of your ego, and how that also communicates so much to your self-worth. Whew, I got passionate there. I got pretty passionate. Thank you to you, Hector. I hope you find it to be helpful. Let me see. And Queen Bird, I need to say the ways in which you book a reading are via the link below. Anyone's doing super chat, it's a big no. It's a big no. Okay. I keep the super chat open in case, some people like to send tips and stuff like that. That's all fine. The instructions are below. Okay. But thank you for booking and for expressing an interest. But the ways in which you do it is via the link. I need your date of birth, time of birth, place of birth. And also I want to say, Keith, thank you for booking. Is Butler still not here? No Butler. Butler, I need the date of birth. Okay. It's okay. I will send you a refund. These things happen. Okay. I'm just getting all passionate, excited. Right, so Keith, I'm taking down your birthday. I'm noting it now. Let's see. Yeah. Thank you for booking. And again, Hector, thank you so much. I really, really hope you find it to be helpful. Okay, spiritual. And to Giza, is it Giza? Is that how you pronounce your name? We're still live. I'm still accepting bookings. we're now moving on to Keith, and I'm just entering in your information, Keith. I'm so happy that the sun is here for longer. It's now 6 o'clock and it's still sort of light outside. Sorry. Sorry. I'm so happy about it. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Right. So let's yes. Doing live readings. Yes, yes. You know it. Welcome. Ah. Yeah, isn't it? It's so interesting. It's fun. It can be fun to read people's charts. And I hope as well, I hope that you find them to be helpful. That is always my main goal. I want to be able to help you read your chart or make sense of your chart. And I hope I can do that. Now, before we do open up your chart here, Keith, just to let you know that, of course, with these readings, they are much shorter and it's just a little taster, okay? These are little tasters of what you can expect. But by booking a reading with me, by going to hannahselsewhere.com, you can then book a reading and we can go into more detail. We can make it a lot more thorough, dive quite deep. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, I think in the future, I'm gonna come on 6 o'clock instead of 5. I feel like 5 is too early. Maybe. I'll see. I'll see. Okay, so let's have a look for you then, Keith. Let's look at your chart. Spiritual guidance. Okay. So, okay, so for you, Keith, right, so you asked about spiritual guidance. Okay. This is certainly an interesting one because you have Jupiter and Neptune, both there in Sagittarius in the first house. And both Jupiter and Neptune they have something to say about our beliefs in astrology. They have something to say about how we feel guided. And there are these, well, with Jupiter, there is a seeking quality to Jupiter. With Neptune, there is this very deep and spiritual quality, but also that seeking from within. I suppose you could say that Jupiter, in a way, branches out into the world as a way to seek, and Neptune, in a way, goes within and tries to find meaning from within. But you see, both of these planets are within the Jupiter decan in Sagittarius. So this, to me, suggests that you are someone who you're very true to your beliefs, to your morals as well, and to your opinions. I think that throughout your life, you have certainly dissolved certain belief systems, certain ways of viewing the world. But there's also the part of this where you have sought after new ways of seeing the world. And maybe this has come about for you because of travel, because of exploring, because of your willingness to try things that are outside of your comfort zone and just traveling far and wide, either physically or mentally. And being so fascinated actually in other cultures and other ways of life, being very open-minded in this regard too. So that's interesting. And then even, I mean, Neptune can look at spirituality. So there could be this thing of it where you've went on these many adventures, voyages throughout your life, right? Many journeys to do with spirituality. Perhaps you've been on retreats. Perhaps you've even been part of particular religious groups. You know, thinking about doing religious work, for example, traveling for religious reasons. You may be someone as well who prays quite a bit. You have your like very practice what you preach relationship with God in this regard. Now, at the same time, it could be that you actually have a lot of questions too, right? You're always questioning, you're always wondering, you're always asking the bigger questions of existence and why you're here and why other people are in here and why do we all coexist together and what the heck's actually going on. You ask those bigger questions that may challenge other people a great deal. And at the same time, you have all of this Scorpio energy. Oh, my earphone came out. But you have all this Scorpio energy, right? So your sun is there, Venus and Mercury. So let me just say, like, you've seen the darkness of humanity. You've seen it. You've seen the lengths, the extremes that people are willing to go as a way to get ahead, right? Ruthless people, right? People who they appear a certain way, but they have something else that's hidden, that's out of sight, that's out of clear view. And you, I feel, Keith, have throughout your life, you've really grown to like recognize any lies and any deception. And so I think, this seeking quality, the stuff to do with spirituality, the stuff to do with your beliefs and so on. I mean, in the background, right, a lot of that is coming from this place of you've been there and you're not going back to that dark place, right? I see this as you being very much aware of what your inner demons are and having like a lot of courage and a lot of bravery throughout your life to face them. you've healed a lot. I think, you've really done a lot of the, sorry, my eye is just a little bit itchy. But you've done a lot of the inner work throughout your life, and you've outgrown old habits and old versions of yourself. It's almost like you feel as if you've lived many lifetimes within this lifetime, right? And whenever you do move on, so to speak, from a relationship, for instance, with Venus, it's like you're never going back there. It's never the same. And I think a big part of it as well is it's trust. It's that trust that must be established. It's that deeper bond that must be established with others. And you can see through that, you can see through it in a heartbeat if something's off. Now, at the same time, this could also be where you've also struggled with like ruminating thoughts or paranoia or thoughts that are really very, very dark and disturbing. Nightmares, night terrors could also be a big thing. And maybe this is also where the spiritual stuff comes into play, right? The healing and the part of it where you've addressed the unconscious, you've addressed the past, you've addressed these older patterns. And this is also about your own journey in terms of your personal empowerment, right? So there's that. And then also, we notice here with the Scorpio energy, that's making these squares to the Aquarius energy. So you have Mars and Moon in Aquarius. So I see this as you being free spirited, especially with Sagittarius being a part of it, right? You've got Sagittarius rising, and then you have Moon in Aquarius, and then even the chart ruler, which is Jupiter, that is home in Sagittarius. I say this because Aquarius and Sagittarius are such free spirits. They are signs that do not want to be confined. They are signs that do not want to be told what to do, where to go, who to talk to, etc. But you see, with the squares between Aquarius and Scorpio, this could be where you've actually experienced quite a bit of power struggles throughout your life. Power struggles in terms of debates and discussions and people challenging you. But this, of course, with challenging views, etc., I think you are up for that, right? I think that you do enjoy sort of taking part in healthy debates and so on. But with the squares, I just feel like this challenge stuff, it's more confrontational, possibly violent, possibly, getting into these really heated arguments, perhaps within relationships, controlling behaviors, manipulative behaviors. But even that Aquarius energy, that speaks to your ability of like remaining cool and calm and remaining in a place of like, no, let's talk about this. Let's actually come from a place of being smart, being rational here. Now, of course, the Scorpio energy can also present as this cool demeanor, but I feel as if at the same time, there's a lot there's a lot inward. There's more beneath the surface, essentially. I even just see this as, okay, so you talked about, the spiritual side of it. I even just see this as a lot of your awareness and your shifts in consciousness. It's more so about you recognizing whenever these parts of you recognizing whenever you're keeping them under, like when you're keeping them down. What are you repressing? What are you not owning up to? What are you hiding from? What do you not want to confront within yourself? So there could be, some really like heavier things there, perhaps even related to dependencies, addictions, um, you know, and I say this, I'm just saying this because the 12th house rules this, but there could be something about, rehab, going into rehab. Could be something here about hospitals, prisons as well. Not necessarily saying that, that you've been in prison. I mean, that could be a possibility. But I'm just saying, it could even be in terms of relationships in your life. And basically all of this is to say that there's just a lot of these heavier chapters and these heavier events, which I feel you have been working through and you've been coming to terms with throughout your life, because the thing, of course, about it is you were born in 1971, so we see the progressions here and how things have progressed forward throughout your life. I mean, just to finish this off by touching on one of them, which is jumping out at me, it is to do with the secondary progressed ascendant, and that's in Aquarius. And so it's actually activating the Moon Mars influence there. So I feel as if you're at a stage in your life, and this has been sort of unfolding over a good few years for you, but you're at a stage in your life where it's more so about being able to breathe, like to think for yourself, to make your own sort of decisions. I mean, this could also be like, for example, certain relationships which have come to an end, right? Yeah, that have come to an end. And then I'm saying this too because even Saturn there is in Gemini, and that speaks to, well, Saturn's also making a trine to Pluto as well. So that energy speaks to these renewals and these transformations when it comes to relationships too. But yes, if you want to go deeper into it, you want to talk more about it, you can always book a reading with me. Yeah, you can always book a reading with me. But I hope I was able to touch on some points there. I hope you find it to be helpful. Also, Heidi, hello. Great, good. I'm glad you find it to be helpful. I'm so glad. Thank you for booking. Back to you, Keith. Thank you so much for booking. I hope I didn't go too heavy there, but again, just to everybody, you can book a reading with me by going to hannahselsewhere.com. And if Butler here? No. If you're watching, Butler, you missed your reading. I will refund you. Because the thing is that I need your date of birth, and I don't have that. So I think, should we wrap it up here? Unless anybody else is wanting, I can take maybe one more person if you would like. If not, I'll give it about a minute. Give it about a minute to see if anybody else wants to book this evening. If not, that is going to be us for this round. And hello to Vivek. Welcome to you. And even, yes, aloe vera. Hello. That could be us for this evening. Okay, Vivek, no problem. Well, as soon as you book in, I am going to change the screen to fully booked. And then that will be us for this evening. Thank you very much for being here this evening. I hope you find your readings to be helpful, everyone. Great. I'm glad. Thank you so much, Keith. Thank you for your feedback, and thank you for booking. I hope it's a nice day tomorrow. Hope it's a nice day. I'm going to be tomorrow. What am I going to be doing tomorrow? I think I'm going to buy a yellow t-shirt. It's very specific. But I'm going to buy a yellow t-shirt because I want a bit of color, okay? I want the sun. I want sunny colors in my life. I was like thinking the other day, as I was walking along, I would love something yellow, a yellow piece of clothing. And it's funny because Pernell, I remember doing a live with Pernell a couple months ago. Pernell was wearing a yellow sweatshirt, and he was saying about how, it's tied to Jupiter. I'm just like, yep, I'm feeling that. I'm feeling the yellow. I want yellow. Jupiter colors. So just waiting on Vivek, but if not, it's all good. It is all good. We can end it here. We can bring it to a close here, everyone. It's starting to get dark. Okay, brilliant, Vivek. Thank you. I am just going to change the edit to fully booked. We are fully booked this evening, folks. Oh. And I'll just remove the PayPal. And we're gonna say closed. Close and shop. Right. And save. Vivek, thank you very much. I'm just going to enter in your birth information. Okay, so I need Vivek, seeing as you're here, okay, you're in the chat. You're in the chat. Anguish, are you wanting to book? Is the link there for you? Do you have the link? If you have the link, you want to send it through, no problem. But if it's gone, it's gone. Vivek, I need your time of birth, place of birth, and date of birth, please, for your reading. And do you have a question for me? Oh, perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. No problem, Anguish. No problem at all. Another time. Okay, so Vivek, you're going to be our last person today. Let's see, time. It's Canada. Okay. Do you have a question as well, Vivek? Do you have a question you want to ask about your chart or anything like that? Okay. 10 years? Next couple months? Okay. I'm just getting a few timing techniques to help me. Oh. Thank you for booking, Vivek. Let's see. Oh. Can you let me click on that? Thank you. You're as cold as ice. You're willing to sacrifice. Right. 7. Hmm. Okay. Okay. Yeah. All right. So you're asking here about these health concerns. Now, I also need to obviously say this very, very clearly. I am not a health professional. Okay. Nor do I claim to be. Just to be clear about that. However, when it comes to, I'm taking my time because I'm also getting a few other timing techniques. When it comes to health, we want to think about the sixth house, all right? The sixth house rules health in astrology. And we see here that you have Chiron. So you've got Chiron there in Taurus. In Taurus in the sixth house. So Chiron in this position, it can suggest, okay, yeah, health concerns, health issues, even thinking about Taurus related themes. So we think about the throat. We even think about fatigue with Chiron in the sixth house in general. We think about exhaustion, overworking the self, burnout as well could be a thing too. So that, what is it? Chronic pain. Also, there could be something here related to the voice as well with Taurus energy. And just in general, I think what this is indicating is the importance of slowing down, the importance of grounding yourself. Even I think of Taurus and how it's related to the senses. So, there could be some health concerns there in terms of the senses. But again, with Taurus, it's this energy of coming to a place of, okay, I'm being intentional here. I'm not going to rush through this. I need to be able to work gradually with this energy. And then also Chiron is about healing. So Chiron can then look at wounds and pains and aches. It can be a place of suffering in this way. So when we think about where Chiron is in the chart, Chiron can also look at rejection, right? So this could be, for example, you going to many health professionals or doctors, what have you, and there has been some type of misinformation or misunderstandings about, what's going on, and feeling like you just, you can't really get the answers that you need. So that's also, I feel, where that kind of rejection comes in. It's sort of like, I don't really feel like people are noticing or people are really taking me seriously. It's this type of energy I'm getting. And it could even be that money is a bit of a concern here as well, right? You think about Taurus, like Taurus looks at and rules money and finances and our earnings, and maybe the medical bills in this way are very stressful. It's like a very, very stressful thing, and it's very real. So there's that. But like I said, Chiron also looks at healing. Chiron is so much about guidance and wisdom and mentorship. So I feel as if this energy is, what it's saying is, you seeking some type of guidance, you seeking some type of counsel, and even as well, coming to this place of being able in a way to kind of assist others or help others because you recognize what it sort of feels like within yourself in terms of the health stuff and the stresses and the worries. And even when I think about it too, the health stuff it's more, how do I say this? I'm trying to think about it in a kind of bigger picture view, but it's more than just the body, isn't it? It's also about how your health. If you, what's that whole saying? If you don't have your health, what do you really have, right? Your health, it extends to every other part of your life, right? So you think about your ability to do your everyday tasks. You think about your ability to just go to the shop, to go buy your groceries, for example. You think about your ability to go to work, right? This could be where for you, Vivek, like work has been difficult, showing up and doing just all the regular sort of normal things that you would do maybe has been quite the struggle in this regard. But this is where we also see the secondary progressive moon. So the secondary progressive moon is in Taurus, and it will be in your sixth house for the next year and a half or so. It's been there for about a year. So what has this ushered in for the past year or so? This has ushered in, oh my gosh, right? Moon exalted in Taurus. This has ushered in the ability for you to actually come to this place of acceptance, or like this place of, I really do need to slow it down here. I really do need to bring some type of awareness to like how I'm treating myself, my body, how I'm attending to my everyday tasks. What am I taking on? Is too much, what is too much, basically. Even Chiron is within the Saturn decan, and that can suggest the struggles and the limitations and this kind of the obligated piece, right? These are obligations, and it's sort of this demanding energy, this punishing energy as well. So moon, I feel, is this softer energy, this softer influence that's saying, I need to focus on my own inner healing. I need to focus on my physical strength. I need to be kind. I need to be gentle with myself here. And this, I feel, is a big, big deal for you because you've got your sun and moon in Scorpio, and they're opposite Taurus. So the moon and sun in Scorpio, that energy is so extreme. That's the type of energy that goes, I'm all or nothing, right? That's like the determined part of you, the real pushing part of you that will stop at nothing than to make something happen in your life, right? And that, I feel, is also a part of your strength. That's a part of your strength, this badass part of you with so much Scorpio, Vivek, right? The inner fire, the inner warrior, the inner consistent, determined individual who is willing to go the extra mile to make things happen, to get what you want in life. But it's just the Taurus energy, it's trying to sort of come along and welcome in some type of ease and calm and relaxation, right? The 12th house does also rule relaxation. It rules us just being able to completely switch off, to recharge. And I think that with having the sun and moon in the Scorpio in this position, it can suggest that that is something that you've had to sort of do a lot of the times throughout your life, in terms of, you spending time alone, you being in solitude. But still, that Scorpio energy, especially with Uranus also being there, it's also quite extreme. It's the unpredictable hits as well. It's the not knowing energy. It's the Uranus part of it especially speaks to just these real chaotic moments, and feeling oftentimes like things are just not within your control, and spiraling and all of this type of stuff. It can be quite a whirlwind in this regard, emotionally, especially emotionally. Even that moon sun energy in the 12th can suggest that like your emotions get so intense about things, and you really can get so like swept up in it, right? Swept up in the emotion. But again, Taurus, I think, just is saying this is about coming to a place of ease and the calmness, the softness with the moon. And here's the thing. Oh my gosh, here's the thing for you, Vivek. Oh, wow. So, Jupiter and Uranus are going to conjunct April. So it's going to be the 20th/21st of April, depending on where you are in the world. They're going to conjunct in Taurus right on your Chiron. And then eventually they are going to start to oppose your natal Uranus more strongly. You're actually going to go through your Uranus opposition. So this energy, it's intense, this energy, but it's also an energy of major healing breakthroughs, major health related breakthroughs that will have something to say about security, stability. They will have something to say about the financial stuff, the money stuff, you know, and even with the Uranus opposition coming up. So that's going to grow stronger and stronger over the next year or so. Well, the Uranus opposition can really feel like a breaking free time or a breaking through time. And so for you, this is going to be so much about the body, so much about your healing, so much about your health, right? With the sixth house. But also, this is about how things are going to change on such a physical level, not just body wise, health wise, like you physically, but the external stuff, right? Seeing that the external world has so much to say about the internal world, that it's like a reflection in a way of you. So it's trying to kind of recognize whenever you, for example, are becoming very swept up, and how that can often translate to what is kind of going on outside of you. That 12th house energy with the sixth house, that axis, speaks to the inner outer world. It speaks to the spiritual, emotional world, especially with the 12th house versus the busy, everyday, general lifestyle world with the sixth house. So that opposition, yeah. The whole thing with Uranus is it looks at how things are shaken up, how things change so suddenly, out of nowhere. There's the unpredictability with it. But again, that conjunction in April to Chiron, that will especially be enlightening for you. That could be a big light bulb moment. That could be a very awakening moment. Sure, it may not be like this moment on the day, right? But this could be something that's unfolding, and it will continue to kind of unfold for a while. So, Vivek, that was yours. Thank you so much. Yes, you already feel it. Whew, exciting, exciting. Okay, everyone. So that is us. Thank you for booking with me, Vivek. I really hope that you find your reading to be helpful. So when I saw that with the conjunction on your Chiron, I was like, wow. Wow. Okay. Okay, so one more time, I just want to say, Butler, I will refund you. I did not get your birthday, sadly. But yes, thank you so much. Angela, hello. Yeah, yeah. Do you know what I realize with April, right? So we have Mercury retrograde from the 1st until the 25th of April. It's April Fool's Day on the 1st of April. So the Mercury retrograde starts on April Fool's Day. Could Mercury be up to its tricks? Mercury's the trickster. Mercury likes to play mind games, pranks. Hey, that's a thing. Your Mercury sign could probably tell you how you play pranks on other people. Huh? What types of pranks would you play? Well, I would say it can feel quite intense. It could feel quite intense. But hey, like anything Uranus, expect the unexpected, right? Do you know what as well? Even with you, Vivek, that moon, that's the secondary progressive moon in Taurus, that could even add a level of trying to kind of be patient and calm, right? Trying to center yourself. So that can be quite supportive for you. Anyway, everyone, that is me. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I'm going to get going. I will see you on Sunday, right? We're going to be talking about the lunar eclipse in Libra coming up in 10 days. Yeah. Are you feeling this eclipse season already? Are you feeling it? Mm. Right. I'm going to get going. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much for booking with me, everyone. And I really hope that you find your readings to be helpful. Rachel, thank you so much. Hearts to you as well. Hearts. Thank you so much. And I will talk to you all very, very soon. Bye, Angela. Bye, Vivek. Hearts.